I was thinking today I was going to vlog because I would like to talk about the creative slump. No, well, actually, first of all, I would like to tell everybody thank you. I'm still behind on comments, so it's not like I don't have stuff to do. Whenever I'm like at Aunt Sue's or doing, maybe like a craft that is very involved, sometimes I have a day where I can't really get to answer the comments, and that puts me a day behind, which actually then takes sometimes a couple of days to catch up. So I'm sorry about that, but you guys understand. So I know that I'm off the hook. I know, not really. But I really want to say thank you for everybody. I added the little bit of the not a little bit. I added the candid conversation that Jim and I had after the haul. I added at the end of the video. The conversation was actually in the middle of the haul, but I know not everybody cares about that. Some people just come for the haul, so I add that stuff on the end. And Jim had 2 jobs, as you guys know. So many of you are thinking that he lost his only job and that he's the only source of income in the family. And that's not true. He does have another job, and actually what he was saying there is he left the job and went straight to, he left the job that he lost and went straight to the job that he still has, and told them that he's now available whenever, which was a positive thing. I wasn't very proud of my reaction because if those of you, you don't know the history, is that Jim, in all of our marriage, if you give me a second, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Jim and I have been married for 18 years, will be this August, and he's had 12 jobs. Okay? So he's always had the opportunity. When we were in New York, I was the breadwinner, really. He always had the opportunity to leave if he was unhappy. Of course, I would always encourage him to try to stay and work things out, because, running away from your problems doesn't really make your problems go away. They just follow you from place to place. So he has really been working on that since he moved here, because, not really since he moved here, but for the last 2-3 years, where he really realized that he is the person who's got to work out in the community. So, he has really made improvements, and I can tell in the conversation that we had, I could tell by the look on his face that he was really, I don't know, I guess after a lot of years of marriage, you can kind of tell when your family is not being 100% honest with you. So, I didn't react very well at first, but I did then read his face, and I had my instant reaction, which was terrible, but I did then read his face and realized what was going on was real and nothing that he had any idea about. So I was surprised that job that he had at the supermarket was one that I actually thought was the one that was going to last. But they were doing some owner changes and stuff, so that kind of sureness fell away a couple of months ago. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. That was the job where he wore all the hats. The deli. The deli had a grill and a smokehouse and a hot food bar and a sushi bar and an actual deli, a dishwasher and a fry cook. And he, other than making sushi, because the sushi is actually independent, but other than making sushi, he did everything. He was the cashier sometimes, and so yeah, I was extremely surprised to hear that they let him go for professional misconduct, which I still don't know what that is. So when he told me it's a right to work, Missouri is a right to work state, which means they don't have to tell you why they fire you, and they can just let you go for no reason or for whatever reason they deem fit, you know. But that's okay. I look at everything as, you know, it's a move in a positive direction. Like, what can we benefit from this? So, of course, benefiting from it is our time together has increased. But those of you who don't know, one of the things when I started the YouTube channel to help him out, well, to help us out, I saw that some YouTube channels had earning potential. I've followed a few different families who actually have been able to make YouTube their primary source of income and have been able to both members of the family, or both parents, both adults, have been able to quit their other jobs because of the earning potential. But we didn't have a lot of money to invest in special camera equipment and all that stuff to make fancy videos. But, this is how he supported me and Mom supported me in starting this channel. So, when the channel started to take off last April, I mean, it really grew lovely and steadily since it started. But last April, when I created this, it really took off. So from that point on, we saw growth potential, and not really knowing that the fickleness of the internet would come and go like it has, because it was our first year in doing it. So we actually talked about that coming January, Jim would not have to have the second job anyway. But then, of course, YouTube hit a thing where they had some bad press, and we had less income that month, and then it was a little less even in February, and so it was sort of like, what is happening? We don't know. And should you quit your second job? Like that. We had that conversation. So he stuck forward with it, and then the income started to come up a little bit, and then we had conversations about like what he wanted to do. So he wants to have his own car. He wants to go on vacations. He wants to get this, that, and the other thing. And one of the things that I said was, well, until the channel starts to really explode, then you probably need to keep that second job if you want all these things. So we were saving for that. So we're not destitute. I wanted to say to everybody, thank you. He still does have his job at Taco Bell, and it seems that they're going to give him more hours, which is wonderful, financially wonderful. And it looks like that the earnings will be for last month. Okay, this is May. No, this is not May. Oh my, this is April. So my earnings for March were what I needed them to be. It looks like my earnings for May will be what we need them to be. Basically, I just need to be able to cover the car payment. That sounds silly. There's only another less than a year on the car, but just need to earn enough to make the car payment. And then, so it looks like that's working. Not that you all need to know my financial business, but I'm just sharing that with you because you care. You know, a lot of you care. So as long as that keeps going, we'll be 100% fine on just him having just one job, which is, you know, when we first moved here, he just had one job. They just paid him more per hour, and we were able to get by on that. And then they let him go from that job, and then he got another job where he wasn't making as much per hour, but he was working more hours. So that was okay. But then now, you know, then they stop being 24 hours and, you know, things change and things go and come and go, whatever. So I'm just trying to roll with it. Is it stressful wondering? I mean, you know, you have to have faith in God. I have faith in him. I have faith in us. You know, once you've gone through the loss of, you know, Jim and I were living with my dad when he passed. And my little brother had moved out a couple of years. So for a couple of years, it was Jim and I. And, you know, I worked full time during the day. So it was Jim during the day with my dad. So Jim was, you know, was not oddly enough, Jim was my rock during the whole thing. And whenever I'm going through a crisis, I actually say to him, I'm like, please be that man you were when my father passed away. He was amazing. But afterwards, I realized that he had gone through a loss too, because he'd lived with my dad for 11 years and you know, took care of him a lot for the last 2 or so. But anyway, we'd gone through that, and we'd gone through the loss of the hurricane. So if you're new around here, we lived on Long Island until 2012. Well, until 2013 really is when we moved here. But the house that I grew up in, that my parents brought me home from the hospital in and everything, I got destroyed in Hurricane Sandy, Superstorm Sandy, even if you will. I only had, you know, it's how you look at it. We had 3 feet of flooding damage, which, you know, basically all the electricals down there, and lost the floors and the appliances and that kind of stuff. We lost a lot of our stuff. But I said to Jim when we first got there, and we were lucky enough during the storm, I was mandated to go to the group home where we had a little apartment above the group home. And I was mandated to go there because I was a supervisor. I had to be there. So I wasn't on the South Shore where I lived. I was more towards the north mid-level of the island. It wasn't quite the North Shore, but it was above the midline. And they had a generator because of the hurricane that was the year before previously. Knocked out electricity for an extended period of time. So they had this grant to put in generators at the house, which was great. So they had a generator, so we only lost a flicker, and then the generator kicked on. But, and then I had my car with me, of course. But then they closed the roads and stuff. So it took the 2 days. The hurricane was on the 29th, and we weren't able to go back to the house until the 2nd. Till November 2nd. But my brother lived upstairs, and my sister, who lived down the block, she actually came to my house because my house has always been high ground. So she was at my house. The next day she was able to pull up my rugs, and she laid them out over the porch so that they would dry, and just to pick up some furniture and stuff. So she was very sweet. Thank you, Janie. And I know I've thanked you before, but really, Jane and Kathy and Bobby, they really, I made a joke. It's funny. I had a basket that I kept all my flats in because I was working a lot. I had a lot of shoes. So I had like this basket where I kept all my flats, and I asked him, I said, you know, I made a joke because I knew my house was never going to flood, right? I said, no matter what happens, just save my shoes. So when I got to the house, my shoe basket was on the table, which was great. Thanks, Bobby. I love you. But anyway, I'm all over the place with this. But I said to Jim when we finally got home, you know, he was devastated, and furniture had been moved. The refrigerator had been moved. The water moved the refrigerator. And that cute little rooster, and I'll show you guys that tour better. That cute little rooster was like gonna fall off the refrigerator. But anyway, I said to him, every time you look down and you see something that's destroyed, just look up and see something that has survived, because all of our family portraits that were on the walls, and you know, we lost everything in the bottom 2 drawers of the china cabinet, but everything that was in the top drawer and above was fine. Everything we were able to save. So stuff like that, I just reminded him, it'll all work out. Have faith. This was, maybe this was supposed to happen the way it happened. After my dad passed away, I didn't know where we would live, but my family, we got together, and we stayed in the home, and we were helped. Jim and I were fixing up the house so it would be a rentable space. So we had redone kitchen cabinets, everything. We redid everything in the kitchen except we didn't paint the appliances yet. We didn't replace the countertop, and no, that's it. We didn't paint the appliances, and we didn't replace the countertop. Everything else we did. We hadn't touched the bathroom yet. We had done 1 bedroom. We had done the dining room, the living room, and the front hallway. Actually, we didn't replace the wallpaper in the front hallway yet, but we did everything. Everything else we laid all new floors, and, well, we laid peel and stick tiles on the floors. We didn't rip up hardwood or anything, but we did these nice parquet peel and stick tiles on the floors. All throughout, they were continuous. Actually, they were stone. They weren't parquet. But we made because we always had an open concept. So the living room, there was only like a pony wall between the kitchen and the dining room, and then like a 6-foot section of wall between the living room and the hallway led into the kitchen. It was called the 6/6. So if you've ever seen it, I don't know. But you basically walk in the hallway, and there's the living room. Straight ahead is the kitchen. Behind the living room is the dining room, and then they meet with like a pony wall. A pony wall is like a half wall, if you don't know. Between the living room between the dining room and the kitchen. And so they were all really one continuous floor. So we redid all the floors there, and then back into the back hallway. What we had done, the whole 3rd bedroom, it was a guest room, so we had really redone that. We repaired the floor. We ended up putting fabric on the walls, which was really nice, and all the new molding and trim and stuff. So the next was going to be my dad's room, but we were using it for storage. And then we started to move the storage to the apartment. But we still some storage there when the storm came, and we had a lot of stuff that we got destroyed, but we still had a lot of stuff left. So yeah. So all of that story was to tell you that Jim and I have been through some hard times, and I know that we'll get through this. And if it's not even a hard time right now, that's what the point of this whole conversation was. Jim still has a job at Taco Bell where he works, and now looks like the potential that it could be 40 hours almost every week, which is great. And the YouTube channel's growing as the family's growing. As you know, we just hit 14,000. And some of my favorite YouTubers, actually 3. Well, my favorite YouTubers are the Fry Life. They just hit 200,000. But my other favorite YouTubers, Remington and Crafty Girl and Kelly Barlow, all just hit 100,000, which is fantastic. So excited for them, and I see that could be us someday. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I started to vlog today because I was having a little bit of a creative, not slump, but like a jam. It's sort of like, I don't know what I want to do. I was gifted some craft supplies from Allison from Texas. Allison, hi, thank you. I'm going to open that on the camera for you, but she said it's just some random junk, so random stuff. So she's going to say, she said in the message that people will say, what is this crazy lady just sending you this random stuff for? But she was getting rid of some craft supplies, and she thought I could use them. So we will see what she has to offer. And yeah. Oh, and Jim wants to go live on Sunday. So we're going to do a live stream Sunday. I want to do it early. I would like to say 6 Central Daylight Time, which is where we live. We were thinking about having like an early dinner so we can be on there early, because I know a lot of times we go on after dinner and people on the East Coast are already in bed. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to schedule that for 6 p.m. But that's, you know, if something changes, I will let you know. The only thing that would change is if his job asks him to come in or something. But I don't think they will, because he's already at overtime this week. So what else? Oh, total side note. I totally figured out what I want to do for the chandelier. I don't know if it's going to look good because I didn't buy any. But I had one here, so I wasn't going to buy them. But I think I really want those cracked glass candle holders. Have you seen them? First of all, they're heavy. I don't have one here. I know I bought one. I just don't know where in my house it is. I think I know where in my house it is. Okay, let me start over. There's 2 places where I keep them. One is a place I can access. One is a place that's only 12 people can access. It's not in the short place. Let's put it that way. So I have to wait for Jim to wake up because I want him to get it for me. Because I was looking through videos and pictures and stuff, and I think I want to use those. I think I do. But I want to see how it looks on there before I go ahead and buy the rest of them. Okay, so I don't know. This is a really long vlog of me just chatting with you. I don't know, I feel like there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, I did. I wanted to show you this. So if you buy these, of course I read the instructions after the fact. I told you on the whole, I didn't know how to get it on. But what you do is you pull it out. Oop, you pull this out. And oh, I just popped the battery thing off. Oh, I pulled the battery thing off. It twists. There's one of the tabs in here. So you pull the tab out, take the stake off, pull the tab out. Put the stake back on and it lights up. Isn't it cute? And the bird lights up. I wasn't sure what lit. And then, of course, you know the stake where you put the thing in the bottom. So I wasn't sure what lit. And honestly, I don't even want to put it in the garden. I want to put it in here. But I don't have enough light source to charge it every day. But it's so cute. It's so cute. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop babbling. So I am gonna stop halfway here. This is actually after I've completed this babble. This babble ended up being 46 minutes, and I'm sure when I edit it, I can cut out some of the big pauses. Because there was a few big pauses where I was like, I don't know what I'm saying, but it's probably just gonna be 45 minutes. So I may edit this into 2 babbles. So this is the halfway point. So I wanted to say thank you. Not going to ask you to leave any comments because I'm going to ask you in the end of the next video to leave comments and video ideas and that kind of stuff. But I was going to say also, if you have any questions, wait, because I may be explaining them in the second half. So as always, you take care. God bless. And I'll see you next time.